I know exactly how many steps I've taken today, how deeply I slept, how productive I was, or not. My smartwatch tracks it all: calories, heart rate, meetings, performance. That's impressive and incomplete, because what we measure daily becomes what matters, and something essential slips through. Now, imagine a second watch, a life watch. It doesn't count your steps. It asks, who did you walk with? It doesn't measure your performance. It asks, did you show up? And at the end of the day, it asks, did you care? Did you love? Did you live or just function? If you checked that life watch tonight, knowing your time is limited, would you be satisfied with what it shows? 2 watches, 2 perspectives, and 1 question. What matters? What matters? I've been living with this question ever since I started working in dignity therapy with people facing a terminal diagnosis. I visit them in hospices, on palliative care units, sometimes at home. Together, we write a letter, a spiritual legacy, not just for those who remain, but above all for the person themselves. I listen. I write down their stories, and then I read it back to them. The letter says, you are more than your diagnosis, more than your failing body. You are a human being with a life lived. It's all about dignity. Before every visit, I take off my watch, the smart one. I sit in the car, close my eyes, breathe, and prepare myself to be fully present. 1 minute, a small ritual, a shift in tempo. Because at the end of a life, time changes its quality. It is no longer measured in days, hours, minutes, no longer in length, but in depth. No longer in to do, but in to be. Every human being is unique, and so is every letter. And yet, when I compare them all, it always comes back to one thing. Not to work, not to achievement, not to money, but to people. People they love, people they miss, people they never properly grieved, people they wish they had called. The whole spectrum. Love, always. That is what time distills. And yet, this is not the story our performance-driven culture tells. Some time ago, I attended a lecture on longevity. The room was full of high-performing people. It was all about biohacking, tracking, clean eating. It was fascinating. 2 rows in front of me sat a man I know. He had had a stroke, and since then he walks with a cane. While on stage the perfect health, beauty, and lifespan were being designed, I found myself wondering, where in this narrative is there room for the man with the cane? Where for the vulnerable, the frail, the sick, the dying, the imperfect? And I mean, there are many of us. That is why, after this lecture, I asked myself, if perfection is the highest goal, is vulnerability then a deficiency? Is illness a weakness? Is dying a failure? Don't get me wrong. Taking good care of yourself is not the problem. Never, ever. Denial is. I see it at the bedside of patients who thought they had more time, a whole life, and suddenly they have months, weeks, maybe days. I sometimes ask, if you had one more year, how would you spend it? You all know the answer. At the end, it's all about connection, relationships, moments shared. Love, always. We need to learn not only how not to die, but how to die, how to face death, and as a consequence, how to live now. I learned my first lesson beside Elsa, my very first patient. On paper, I was perfectly prepared. In reality, I was terrified. No textbook prepares you for your first visit to a hospice. Sweaty palms, dry mouth, raised pulse. Then I sat beside her. We held hands a moment longer than usual. I felt deeply connected and became calm. We talked for about an hour about her life, about her dying, about the people she loved. It was a deep talk. And driving home, I sensed this work will change me. And it did. Many encounters followed, many letters, many goodbyes, all of them final. Then I met Lisa, same age. We had once been young together, wild, invincible. Now we sat across from each other again. Still the same souls, but in two different worlds. She terminally ill, me sparkling with life. That was the moment I understood, not intellectually, but physically in every cell. There are no separate realities, only different points in time. It was last summer when our father died, unexpectedly. My family had gathered at my place. We were having coffee, telling stories, when suddenly he collapsed. When paramedics arrived, the doctor asked me if I had his advanced directive. I did, so I handed it over, and it was clear, no life-prolonging measures. Our father died right there, surrounded by his family. The shock was immense. In that moment, I was not the expert who knows how that goes. I was the daughter who was losing her father. At the same time, something quiet, peaceful. We knew we were acting according to his will. Later, we found out he had prepared everything, bank details, passwords, his wishes for the funeral, everything written down, even his obituary in High German and dialect. He, the politician through and through, insisted that no political speeches be given at his funeral. He wanted to be remembered for the human he was, not for his role as a politician. For us, all this was more than just information. It was care, his final act of love. Thank you, Pa. Encounters with the dying changed my perspective on time, showing me what matters most again and again and again. They are my best teachers. So I began asking myself questions, the same questions I ask my patients, and many, many more. About life, about death, about me. This one became central. Who am I? I mean, who am I without my role? Without all the things I do and write and create and plan and track and try to control. Just me, naked in the woods, offline. Because that is what we all are at the end. Just human. Like anyone else. Raw, unfiltered. Confronting mortality doesn't make us morbid. It forces us to choose what truly matters. It makes us clear. It makes us real. It makes us alive. Why? Because we are here. We have this day, and we have this night, and maybe another, and maybe still another, and we get to decide what to do with it. So, yes, run the marathon, build the business, wear the fancy dress, celebrate, create, achieve. There's so much potential in each of us. Then, from time to time, step back. Breathe. Look at your life watch. Look at you. What matters? Vulnerability is not a deficiency. Illness is not a weakness. Dying is not failure. Life is limited, and so are we. Each of us is a limited edition. So next time, when you look at your watch, at any watch, ask yourself, how do you want to be remembered? And what are you doing today to make that real? Thank you so much.